Hey, I'm Ash and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I make vlogs about whatever I want really, from unsolved mysteries, creepy things, to travel vlogs, to foodie vlogs, to videos of Benji, our little corgi puppy, and all of that. So, in today's video, we're going to talk about 10 things that changed my life. So, let's get into the video. For today's video, I've got a coffee, and for those of you who are like, aren't you cutting back on caffeine? Yes, I am. I'm having a coffee every second day and then trying to replace things with tea, decaf, things like that. But today is a coffee day, so look at this Pac-Man mug. So it lights up when you put hot water or boiling water in it. It's so cool. So I want you to grab a snack, grab a drink, and let's get started. I have a notes app on my phone of 10 things that changed my life. So let's start with number one. Now, number one is meditation. So back in 2020, I finished my master's degree, and it was on like new age stuff and whatnot. And then 2021 was kind of like a rough start to the year for me, but it was a good things happened because it led to, how do I put this? Bad things happened that led to good things happening. Okay, and then I started to meditate. Now, it took me a long time to be able to sort of learn meditation because you have to put in the work basically. But first I started doing meditation like just by myself, like trying to figure it out. And there was one where I felt like I was floating. So I was like, oh, this is good. And then I could just never replicate that. So I started doing guided meditations, just ones I could find on YouTube, and I did that quite regularly. Good things happened when I did it regularly. When I stopped, bad things happened. Could just be a coincidence. I don't know where I really stand on synchronicity or things like that. Anyway, so since 2021, I have been regularly meditating. Now, I don't do it every single day. I try to sometimes, but other times I just feel crappy and don't want to, and that's okay. But I really like the guided meditations on YouTube. So like astral projection, I love that. I feel more relaxed. I don't get panic attacks as often. I sleep better. So that really changed my life. Now, number two is cold showers. And I know what you're thinking. I don't want to have a cold shower in winter, Ashley. Me neither. So what you do is at the end of your shower, you just have like a cold burst on you, and it kind of wakes you up. It has like a caffeine hit effect, and it's really good for getting less sick, like your immune system. I'm not a doctor, but that's what Google says. And it can just help with your overall well-being. So that one, it is easier to do in summer when it is a lot hotter and you do actually want to have a cold shower. So why not try it if you don't want to either do a cold burst at the end of your shower or before you get in it and then flip it back to hot water. It's fun. Number three was moving countries. Like, so much has happened. So January 2022, I moved from Christchurch, New Zealand to Melbourne, Australia, and I had a lot of ups and downs, but ultimately I think I made the right decision, and it led me to where I am now, trying to do actual things that I love. I did have a lot of health issues that did come up, but we're getting through them. I've got my blog, and these are things I wouldn't have done if I hadn't have moved countries, and I would have met Luke, my partner. But yeah, it was a big step, and I guess I did find some things challenging, some things easy, and I found that when I first moved over here, I really put myself out there to make friends, have a support network. Yeah, we have moved a few times to different rentals, but I feel like each time things just get better and you're like leveling up in life. But yeah, if you ever have the chance to move countries, even if it's just for a year, like a gap year or something like that, go traveling, do it, move countries for a little bit. You can always go home if things don't work out. But for me, things are working out and they're looking up, and I'm so glad that you guys are watching my videos, reading my blog, following me on social media, all of that jazz. Number four is being in a healthy relationship. So Our relationship with Luke is probably one of the healthiest that I've ever been in. We communicate, we tell each other how we feel, we give each other space when we need. There's not a lot of toxicness. Sure, we might fight sometimes or argue, but that's pretty normal. And we support each other as much as we can, and that's something I haven't really had before. Maybe in one other relationship, but this one, I don't feel like I have to walk on eggshells, or if I make a joke, I'm not going to offend him, and vice versa. And I think that's a really important part of being in a relationship. Now, number 5 was my IBS diagnosis. Now, this was a long time ago that I had this, but basically I had what they thought was a ruptured cyst, and it like exploded, and I was supposed to have this exam that I had to get an aggregat for. I think they're called special considerations now, and I was really bummed that I missed that exam because I really wanted to go. Anyway, the university was super understanding. I probably got a better grade than I would have got if I did the exam. But yeah, and then a couple of months went by and my stomach was still sore, and my doctors are like, okay, let's check you out for something else. And basically I had to do the gross colonoscopy. I never want to do that again, and they said it's either going to be IBS or Crohn's, but we'll check to make sure. And they didn't find anything, so they ruled everything else out except IBS. So they diagnosed me with IBS, and they're like, okay, let's change your diet. So you have to take everything out and start from scratch, basically figure out what hurts your stomach. And they make me take out gluten, they made me take out dairy, things like tomatoes, garlic, onion, all of that. And I had such a boring, bland diet. Obviously I lost a bit of weight, and then had to get a little bit of help with some dietitians, and then eventually figured out what to do. So that was pretty scary, getting that diagnosis and then being like, I can't eat all these things. But in reality, you can get back to eating those things. It just takes a while because the low FODMAP diet is not sustainable for a very long time because you lose a lot of the nutrients that you need. Basically, think of it as like a reset in your body. Not a cleanse per se, but it's like a cleanse where you take everything out and then put things in to see, oh, do I have an intolerance to that? And for me, it is apricots mainly now, but yeah, I can have back to eating gluten. Don't do a lot of dairy, but I do sometimes do it, and I just have to be very, very careful with processed food, but we should anyway. And the symptoms can be scary because you're like, is something else wrong with me, or is it just my IBS? And most of the time it is just your IBS. But again, I'm not a doctor, so if you're having any stomach troubles, go see a doctor. So the 6th thing that changed my life was probably doing a master's thesis, because I feel like it led me down a path that I probably wouldn't have necessarily done. Like, I got really interested in New Age stuff. I bought crystals, some tarot cards. I didn't go too extreme. Like, I'm very also still on the fence about the spiritual stuff, but it made me start doing meditation and seeing the benefits of these things. And then that combined with science. And I just really enjoyed it. Like, I wouldn't be open to those things in the past, but now I am. And I feel like I also started to notice things like the symbolism of birds or the symbolism of animals, especially when I first moved to Melbourne. Like, I remember being at a cafe with one of my cousins, and I was eating a sandwich and this butterfly came, and I'll see if I can find the video. I don't know if I will be able to. Yeah, I'm taking a video. Open your wings. Bye. But it came and it just landed on my sandwich, and then these dragonflies would flock to me, and that also made me feel like I'd made the right decision. And then this year, actually, when Luke and I were in Tannenbryn on our Great Ocean Road roadie, you can check that out. I have those vlogs here. One morning there was a king parrot waiting outside our Airbnb, and we got to hand feed him, and it was so special. Like, that is amazing. But yeah, so doing my masters led me to that, gave me all these research skills, it made me good at writing, and it made me feel like I could really achieve anything. So number 7, I've titled Buying the Gear. Now what I mean by this is actually upgrading all my photography equipment, which I should have done a long time ago, but I just didn't want to pay for it. And when I finally did it, I feel like my photos got a lot better. I was more motivated to do it. I also bought like a phone tripod so I could make silly social media stuff, and a ring light. And just having it there, even if you don't use it straight away, is a good motivation. Like I remember watching some YouTuber a long time ago being like, buy the gear. If you want to be an influencer, buy a ring light so you have one, and then you're more likely to use it and in turn reach your goals. I don't know how legit it is, but it worked for me, so it might work for you, it might not work for other people. But yeah, having all this photography equipment, my big lens, I can go and take photos of birds. Even on my balcony, there's glass that come every morning and things like that. So if you are in a financial position where you can get the gear and you want to, buy the damn gear. If you're not in that position, that's okay. You can borrow gear, you can save up for it. Nothing wrong with that. But yeah, get the gear. Number 8 is finally embracing who I am. And I felt like for a long time I would have to hide who I was, hide my mental health, hide my silly jokes, walk on eggshells. I even had one person tell me that because I had anxiety, they didn't want to deal with me and stuff like that. That's probably a tame thing. There has been a lot of other things, but I chose to embrace it, be open and transparent about it, and just be silly and goofy and weird and not care what people think. I know that's easier said than done because I still struggle with it sometimes when I think, oh, what do they think of me, or what do they think of that? And then even like some of my vlogs are getting views, like good views at the moment, and I'm like, oh my god, am I embarrassing myself? But in reality, people are probably just enjoying the content, and I feel like some people are more worried about themselves to worry about you. And even if they make a judgment about you or your appearance or what you choose to do, like, it doesn't matter as long as you're happy. And I feel like I'm also embracing how rustic like I can be. Like, I'm not perfect. I did try and be a perfectionist earlier on in life, but that just isn't sustainable. And I really enjoy being rustic, even with cooking, baking, things like that. And it's who I am, and I'm proud of that. So number 9 is probably learning how to be more grateful. So prompting myself to do gratitude lists every morning, which was one of my 2024 goals, which I'm doing pretty well in. I also have a gratitude app on my phone that I do. I was journaling for a little bit, but I found that I was getting kind of bored of that, so just want to change it up a bit. But yeah, just feeling grateful for the little things, like being able to walk, all my senses, clean drinking water, food, roof over my head, stability, all of that. Just, if you're feeling sad one day, just take a step, look outside, find 3 things that you're grateful for. Like, it could be the road for you to walk on, it could be that you're able to walk, that you're able to see, that you're alive even. It really helps. And number 10 was getting a dog. So recently, you would have seen, we got Benji bear. So he's a little Welsh Pembroke corgi, and I've always wanted a corgi because every time I've seen them, my face just lights up. But yeah, it can be challenging having a puppy, but I feel like it's really rewarding. And he's doing so well with his training. The only things we need to work on more are toilet training and bite inhibition, but we're getting there. He's getting softer in his bites, and we're learning to say ouch or redirect him as well. And we're taking him out regularly, and he is probably averaging only about 1 accident every 2 days. So I think that's pretty good for a 3-month-old puppy, because sometimes it can take them up to a year to get fully toilet trained. So we have a front yard and a balcony with some fake grass on it. Sometimes he will stare at you, sometimes he'll whine, and sometimes he won't tell you at all. You'll just have to guess. It's getting there, and he is so cute. He will have his last puppy school this week, so hopefully he graduates. And then this weekend he's allowed to go for his first proper walk and go to the dog park because he's fully vaccinated now. So I'm hoping he will love that. It's kind of like, I don't want to say having a baby because obviously I don't know what that's like, but he is a little baby, and it's kind of like your life now revolves around this little puppy. And yeah, he sleeps most of the time. He's adorable. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video about 10 things that changed my life, and let me know in the comments below if you made it this far and something that changed your life. It doesn't have to be 10 things, just one thing. Yeah. Anyway, I also do apologize for the lighting, my hair, my face at the moment. It's breaking out a little, and probably haven't quite worked out a proper space for filming yet. I do kind of feel like people are watching me from outside, but that's okay. I do like it here, but I feel like this is just so much white space, and yeah, we're gonna have to figure out something. But I'm enjoying doing the little like lifestyle vlogs as well, and they seem to be doing well, which I didn't expect. I thought the unsolved mysteries would do a lot better than those ones, but yeah. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'm Ash, and I'll see you next time.